Hello and welcome to the Ridiculously Good VA Show with Tracy Daviero. If you are a virtual assistant or want to be one, this is the place to learn the tips and tricks you need to become a ridiculously good VA. I've been a part of the VA industry since 1998, and I'm excited to get to know you and help you build an amazing business. Let's go. Hey there, welcome to another episode of the Ridiculously Good VA Show. I'm your host, Tracy Daviero, and today I have a special guest for you. I'm going to be doing a few interviews coming up with people that I think are amazing, and I would love to share them with you. So today we are talking to Alicia Croci, and she is your new favorite energetic business and sales coach. Yes, I'm checking her bio. She said, I came across Alicia on Threads and we just connected right away. And I love her messaging. I love what she has to say. And so I want to make sure that you see her too and connect with her if you can't. So I'm just going to check her bio. 4 years ago, her corporate job tried to push her back to the office and she said, F that. She's not shy to swear, starting her own online business. Now she helps women across the globe market their business, stand out, sell out launches, and free up space in their calendars. As a mom and a business owner, just like us, she gets it. Business is not for the weak, but with the right strategies, it can feel simple when you focus on what lights you up. After burning out in corporate, managing over 80 social media accounts for not enough money, she built her own business. And in just 12 months, she was making 8K months, serving only 8 clients at a time. In September 2023, she found out she was expecting her first baby. Yay. And she knew her business model had to change. So she burned it all to the ground, retiring her highest selling offer and created a whole new offer suite for done for you agency and added on coaching. And it was the best thing she says she ever did. So now she helps women define what wealthy means to them, which I love this message, you guys. This is just amazing. It's not the same for everybody. And she helps people simplify their business and truly help them build a legacy business that allows them the space to do whatever they want with their life. Please help me welcome Alicia Croci from Wildly Creative Studio. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to talk to you today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk to you, talk to your listeners, and just kind of share some wealth of knowledge.
You know, that's what it's all about, right? That's what we do. Well, I mean, I know you do and I do that. We just get out there and we talk to people. And as you know, of course, my audience is virtual assistants. And that's one thing that VAs really struggle at is getting out and having those conversations. And so I love to do these kinds of interviews so that we know, or we can show them we're just talking to each other, right? And you just asked me a few minutes ago when we were setting up. I might swear a little. Is that okay? It's totally okay. We're being us. I think one of the keys for my messaging to virtual assistants and networking and marketing and all those kinds of things is to be yourself. And so, you know, a lot of the people that I come into contact with think they have to adopt this business persona. Like I'm in a hoodie. I mean, it's a nice hoodie, but it's clean, you know, but that's it is, you know, I want you to be able to be yourself because it's just easier. It makes everything easier. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to be ourselves and we're going to have a chat. So you are the Wildly Creative Studio, and tell me a little bit of history about that, a little background behind it, where you came from and how you got to where you are.
Absolutely. So, my name is Alicia. I am a business energetic coach and a sales strategist. On the front side, behind the scenes now is a creative agency, which is where Wildly Creative was inspired from. And I come from a corporate background of the agency life. So growing up, I watched Hallmark movies and they sold the going and working for a creative agency was like the dream life and you would end up having like your happily ever after. That was
Yep.
not the vibe. I went from working about 70, 80 hours per week, managing 80 different social media clients' accounts to saying, fuck it, I'm going to start my own business and create the change for my own life. I also saw how clients were treated at the agency as well. And that just like did not set right with me. I could not physically go to work knowing that we were going to be signing new clients and 3-6 months down the line, if they continued to sign on, they were just like the bottom tier and they got like low service quality work. And that just was, that just I could not get over that vibe. So I started Wildly Creative Studio to start kind of trying to put a change in the industry and showing people that one, you do have control over your life, you have control over your happiness. Now, anytime I'm not making the money that I don't want, or I'm not having the time freedom that I don't want, or I'm just not doing whatever I want with my life, it is on me. And it's not
Mhm.
on, like, there's no excuse of having a boss over me.
It's really funny. I talk often about, and I know it's the same thing. We all know it and feel it, and we try not to do it. Don't be a worse boss to yourself than the one that you just left, right?
Mhm.
That's
Oh,
it. Yeah.
it's so easy to get lost in the hustle because the online space does a really good job of saying like push for 50K months, push for 100,000 months. And it's like, do you really want that? Or do you just want
Hmm.
something that is living comfortably? So when I started, it's actually a year ago today, I found out
Oh,
that I was
nice.
pregnant. I started coaching and introducing the messaging of find your own wealthy. So what does your wealthy
Yeah.
mean to you? And I think
I
that's
love that. And this is why we booked you. This is why I booked you, because when I saw that message and when we talked, I'm like, this is what I preach. That you don't have to be. Anyway, I'm
yeah.
going to let you talk about it, but this is what I love. Listen to this, you guys.
So you don't have to I chase the rat race of the 10K months, 20K months, 100K months, seven-figure years if that isn't what is energetically aligned to you.
Yeah.
I am a multi-passionate entrepreneur, so I have like multiple streams of income. So I do like to chase those big money wins, but I also value my time freedom so much more than the money that I'm making.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of how I help my clients and how I like to share my message is you got to figure out who you are first, because at the core of who you are is how you run and operate a business. And if you are not true to yourself and you're not true to how you want to work, how you want to operate, how you want to live your life, then you're going to end up creating this monster of a business that was
Hmm.
worse than the 9 to 5 that you left.
Yeah.
And then you're just wondering of should I give up? Is it easier to give up and go work for someone else's dream, or do
Hmm.
you keep struggling with this rat race? And until you embody that higher self and tell your inner bitch to just STF you,
Yeah.
then you're going to be in this muddy puddle. But once you hit that next level, you shift into this new timeline and you really get to see like, wow, entrepreneurship is just like amazing.
And it's really funny because you can totally make it whatever you want to make, right? That's the whole idea. But it's very hard to, and I'm going to use a word that I don't like to use very often because I tell VAs not to use it, is convince people. Like I say, don't convince your clients to work with you, right? Either it's a good fit or it's not. But it's the same thing with this. Like it's very hard to make people believe that you can have that freedom, that you can build it exactly the way you want it, and you can make it serve you in the way that it should until they've done it, right? Anything we look behind and we're like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's it, like that's not what I want. This is what I want. And but it is very difficult to sort of get that message across whenever it seems impossible or it seems unreal. So
Mhm.
and you specialize at helping people see that.
Yes. So that is where it comes also back down into your messaging and the power of storytelling as well.
Mhm.
So whenever you feel like it's impossible and people are emotional, people buy off of emotions a lot of times. If you know your sales psychology, which is really helpful
Mhm.
whenever you dive into like convincing people essentially of
Yeah.
how to work with you, tapping into sales psychology and your storytelling just makes it feel more natural, where you're not
Mhm.
convincing, you're just connecting to your people on an emotional level. And I absolutely love seeing whenever I actually have like unfollows or unsubscribes, because
Yeah.
that to me just like shows that my messaging is hitting how it's supposed to and it's
Yeah.
turning people away, which I ultimately do want that.
Absolutely. I used to follow her. I guess I didn't coach with her, but she coached a lot of my clients. She was a business coach, and she always said, "You want to split the room." And I thought that was funny because she was on stage at these events with over 300 people. And I'm like, why do you want half the people here not to buy from you? And it's because you make a very bold statement and you say, this is what, this is how it is, or whatever. And half the people, they might not be the ones who are going to buy anyway, but these ones are pushed and catapulted into, oh my God, that's me. That's exactly what I need. So yeah,
Hmm.
splitting the room it's it feels wrong. It is really hard when you say, here's what it's like choosing a target market. Here's the people that I serve. Well, what about all the other people, you know? So
Hmm.
it's but I love that. I love that clarity. When the clarity comes like that, that's when the growth occurs. And it's just, yeah, I love that you said that. So
That's
tell me,
also,
how do you help? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was just reaffirming that's also
Yeah.
a great way to put it too, of like splitting the room, and like
Yeah.
what a great lesson to share and
Yeah,
just learn
yeah. It's
something new.
Suzanne Evans, that's it. And but yeah, and it was I just kind of thought, you know, and you don't buy into it sometimes. Oh no, that's too chancy. You don't want to do
Mhm.
that. But it's really effective. It's really effective to, like you say, find your people. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs, I'll say, not even just virtual assistants, who do get, you know, upset whenever they have unfollows. I belong to an email membership group, and they are always talking about, I sent out my newsletter and I got so many unfollows. I'm like, I don't care who unfollows me. And it's not that I don't like them, it's just that I'm not for them right now, and that's totally okay. You know, maybe they'll come back if I do something else, that, and if they're in a situation where they realize then they need my help, or maybe things change for them and suddenly they're, you know, that's what they do. But it's not a good fit, and that's, they're telling you that, and that's a really good thing. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
So tell me how you help your clients.
So I primarily help my clients through coaching and done for you services, but the main purpose of how I help my clients is two ways. It's through energetics and business strategy. And I like to focus on like the mindset, the inner work first before
Mm-hmm.
we ever dive into strategy. Because if you are, like I said, if you're not embodying who you really are, then the strategy isn't going to hit.
Yeah.
I actually had that shift recently whenever my son was first born, is everything that I was doing before just was not more aligned. And I just kept going with the strategy. I plan out 90 days in advance. So I kept going with the strategy, going with the strategy. And I was like,
I've got the
nothing is
strategy, damn it.
working.
It's got to work.
And
I'm different. I'm
yeah,
totally, my schedule's different. My outlook on life is different, but here's the strategy. I'm going to follow it.
100%. That is exactly. I just was like, nail on the hammer, just go, go,
Yeah.
go. And I was
Yeah.
like, this clearly something just isn't it? And so I did my own inner work. I practiced what I preach over here. I got really close with myself. I talked to the inner bitch, told her to go away, and I tapped into my higher self so I could shift into that reality. And my messaging has just completely changed. And
I've seen it change. I know.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. I didn't
And
know it was changing, but of course, you know, we are doing the
mhm,
interview. So I went and looked around and I thought, oh, yeah, okay, I can see the clarity coming
yep,
in for you. So yeah.
it's evolved, and that's where I help my clients because it's scary. It is so
Yeah.
scary to completely just say this is no longer aligned. I need to change this, but that is where you're going to see the most growth. So I
Yeah.
love to say that I give my clients a gentle kick in the ass of
Yeah.
just getting you uncomfortable so you can hit that next timeline. So how I help my clients is both with the embodiment and the energetic work, but also strategy, because you're running a
Hmm.
business. You need to learn sales, you need to learn how to market yourself.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I tap into sales psychology, because whenever you know who you're talking to and how to talk to them,
Hmm.
it just helps make everything come full circle. So whenever you're
Yeah.
talking to your four buyer types, you now know how to connect with them on an emotional level, talk to
Hmm.
your fast action people, your analytic people, and then the people that like really thrive in like a group setting or like don't want to miss out.
Hmm.
And so once you piece all these little spider webs together and bring it in, then you have a business that is going to be built for you and how you want to live your life.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the message behind it is you learn how to define your own wealthy. So you get really clear of who you are, how you want to operate your business, and learn how to fit that business inside your lifestyle. So instead of whenever you start your business, you ultimately work for your business and you
Hmm.
change your life for your business. But when clients work with me, that shift is they are no longer serving their business is serving their life. And
And
so you
that's the
become
way it's supposed to be, but we don't know that. Like, and especially us, you know, as virtual assistants for us, or, you know, social media people that you've come through or anything like that, we are we're not taught any of that. Like I always say, that we were the assistants. We were the ones who did the work, right? The
Mhm.
bookkeeper, the graphics people, that, the marketing department, all that. There was a boss, and there was always one boss or maybe multiple bosses, and they made the decisions. They made the sales, they got the clients, they got everything. And so when we come along and we open our business, we think we got to do all of those things because I can't afford to bring anybody in. But the thing is, we're not trying to be something, we're trying to build something.
Mhm.
And so I think it's so important to recognize that it's like you say, it's supposed to serve us. And that's the whole idea. We're not just supposed to run crazy 78 hour weeks or whatever, trying to support somebody. And in terms of our clients and the way that you say that you work with your clients, that's what we do. We support them. And so by us getting the support of someone like you, who, and same thing with my clients with me, is, we're getting that support, and then we're teaching them how to use support as well. It's just this, it
Mhm.
rolls on, and you're absolutely right. We can build it exactly the way we want. And like I said earlier, it's so hard to fathom that when you haven't been there before. And that's why you need support along the way. You need someone to kick you in the butt, right?
Yep.
You need to have that, but you also need to have that strategy. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to help you. What are you doing this week? Okay, let's work through that. There has to be something in place, and you have that. I know that. So,
Mhm. Yep,
mhm.
it's the ripple effect is strong within the
Yeah,
online space, and
yeah,
especially for virtual assistants. I have worked with so many that their first goal is just to get
yeah.
clients, and then it's like, okay, now that you are booked out and you're at a comfortable spot, let's start making the changes that you
That's
need
right.
to actually build something for yourself. And how you said it is you're building something, and
Yeah.
you can't build it overnight. It's going to take time. It's going to
Hmm.
test you. It's going to make you so excited, but then you're going to have a low where you're like, oh my gosh, do I really want to keep doing this? And that low point is just the stage before your next growth. So
That's
anytime you're
right.
like, oh
It's the
shoot,
scary
let's
part.
keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. And and I always say too, like, you don't have to change for the sake of change. But when it feels like there's a change available, you can
Mhm.
totally take it. And my number one thing is get the support. Learn the things you don't know, right? If you don't know how to do something, you need to learn how to do it. But getting the support that you need as well. And I said, we tell our clients that all the time. Social media, admin, like I say, bookkeeping, anything. The clients don't need to learn how to do that in their business. They need to find valuable people who can do that. And we need to find that in our business too. We don't need to take endless free trainings to try to learn how to do something. It's fun. I love to learn. I absolutely love to learn. But at some point, you have to invest in yourself and say, this is this is my vision. And I don't know how to get there because I've never been there before. So
Mhm.
I need someone to show me the way, and I need a proper strategy to get me there. So yeah, it's awesome. So
Mhm.
who do you love to work with then? Who's
Ah,
if I were to send you the perfect client, who would that be?
so I love impact driven women that collectively want to make a change in the online space, or just like collectively in like other women's lives too, where they know how they are serving their clients and creating an impact that is just creating this like bigger footprint collectively around like the world globally. I work with people from all over
Mm-hmm.
that we're building a life that we truly love, and we're
Yeah.
taking our unique talents and we're owning our space, and we are just owning who we are, and truly just instead of living this life of now you have to work 40 and like you only have 2 days to enjoy life.
Yeah.
The women that come into my space are fast action takers, and they love impact, and they're ready to collectively serve for the bigger picture of just we're on this earth to like truly live and enjoy life and to enjoy those big and small moments. So why not build something that allows us to do it?
That's amazing. I love it. I was talking to a woman a few weeks ago, and she was telling me, she said she's building something like that. She's building a community for women to be supportive and build them up and that kind of thing. It's wonderful. It's pretty amazing. It's a nonprofit, and so she's seeking sponsorship. And she says to me, "We need," and she's a reverend, and she's like the most unassuming person, and she's just, she doesn't want to spend any money to do this. She knows there's money out there, and she wants people to support it and value it. And she wants to be the person to sort of facilitate it all, which is
Mhm.
remarkable because that takes a special person too. But she says to me, we need more women millionaires. And I thought, what is she? This is so out of line with what she's sort of building around here. And she said, do you know that she said, I'm looking for money to support these initiatives. And she said, the men have the money and the men like to part with the money. They're like, what do you need? Yep, here you go. And the women, she said, don't have it because we struggle to make it. And again, we're, you're finding you're wealthy, right? You're defining you're wealthy. So it's not always about the money for all of us, but it is about the lifestyle. And it's about being able to value that and say, okay, some people do want, like to your point, you're chasing those big money days and that kind of thing because you want to. That's something that you want to do. That's not something that everybody wants to do, but you can then share back with the community around you. So, but I just laughed. I'm like, we need more women millionaires, because she's like very matter of fact about it. There aren't enough of us, or not, there aren't enough of them, she would say. And it's very true. You have to be able to tap into all of the resources of the people in your community globally. There's lots of people around who can help support those kinds of things. So I love it.
Oh, I love that. That message
Yeah.
is like key to more women millionaires, because it's true. Like
Yeah. And,
collectively, we can change
millionaire
the
is
world.
completely arbitrary, right? We
Yeah.
need women who can, work a 4-day work week and take those 3 days off, or take 2 weeks holidays, or pay for the vacation, or buy a new car, or, whatever it is. That's what we need. Is we need more women to be able to do that kind of thing. And I do work primarily with women. I do work with men as well, whenever they ask me to, because if they see my value, absolutely. And I have a wonderful male client right now that I think, he's not my target market at all, but we're doing what he needs because he can't do it himself. And, he found me. So it's kind of cool. Actually, it's a funny story because it's like a 11-year-old blog post he found me from. So speaking of social media and that kind of thing, SEO is a good thing, and having the tactics and the strategies that you need. So okay, how are we doing on time here? We are good on time. So yeah, so tell me a little bit more about how people can find you, what, when they obviously want to come and talk to you about what they want to do with their business.
So if you want to connect with me, I highly suggest you connected with me on Instagram at Wildly Creative Studio or at Alicia Croci. The studio is for like the agency stuff, and then the first and last name is for the coaching. Soon I'm actually switching that. It'll be done after we finish this recording. But if you also want to get into my space in a different way, I have a great free workshop that is about embodying your higher self, about your growing into your authentic self and truly like honing in on who you are. And that is called Not Your Average Embodiment Workshop. Hold on.
Work in progress. That's okay.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. It'll be live after we get recording. Those my weekend project that I did over this weekend, because gotta love that Mandy Gen energy. But there's also browse the website, browse the social media, check out the free stuff. But if you are ready for that support and energetics and strategy is your thing, then there's one-on-one coaching and Ready, Set, Grow as well.
Awesome. Yeah, your program Ready, Set, Grow, you are promoting now. Okay, so the workshop, is there a date for it? Is it evergreen? What are you doing with that?
That is a great question. It is evergreen. So it'll be on my link in bio, and I'll send you a direct link for this podcast that you can just sign up whenever you want. And it's a interactive workshop. So make sure that you're in a quiet place. There is a small little meditation, and it's a little woo-woo. So if you like spiritual meditation, hypno stuff, we do that. And then you dive into the workshop of actually like honing on yourself, and all questions that you have afterwards, just DM me on Instagram.
I love it. I love it. It's funny you say Instagram, because we connected on Threads, and I'm really enjoying the energy over there. There's still like all the ick and that kind of thing too, but I really like Threads because I feel like the people that, at least that I'm connected, and I don't even know how it works in terms of algorithm, like how does it show you the people? I'm not sure. I know on all the other platforms you pick them and then you see them. So yeah, but that's where we connected, and that's what happens is you just DM over on Instagram. So you can also hang out with us on Threads if you want to do that. So okay, is there anything else that you want us to know about you that we haven't kind of talked about?
Not maybe necessarily about me, but just collectively, like if you take anything from this episode, just the high points of business is scary, and that's okay. But the more you lean into yourself and your own unique power, that's where you're going to find the magic in owning and operating your business. And you truly have control to make it however you want. So you don't have to fit into this box. You don't have to follow certain strategies if you don't like. The best part about owning your own business is you're working for your dreams, and that is exactly what you're meant to do. So when it's time, find the support that you need. You could figure it out on yourself, but community is so important. That's why, like, again, we're going to bring back Threads because it's
Yeah.
popping, but Threads is such a good place to find your community as well. And once you tap into like your community, find your support, it's amazing. Like the
Yeah.
experience is amazing. So if you're listening to this and you're feeling a little bit down, you're just a little bit lost in your business, I hope you get some value for it. But just know, like, we've all been there, and business is supposed to be hard, but simplifying your business and making it easy and defining your own wealth is where you're going to find the magic.
That's awesome. And I really do believe that the simplification is the important part. That's and I know that that's one of your main messages that you're pulling through in your marketing now. And like at this time, I mean, not now. And it really does make a whole lot of sense. You have to get really clear on what you want. You have to get clear on who you serve, and who you can support, but you also have to get really clear on what you want, because every business is different. Um, I think a lot of virtual assistants that I connect with or that I'm in communities with, they're always saying, what's the going rate for this? And, where do you find your clients? And this, that, like, they're really, really generic questions, which are so important to them because they truly don't know the answer
Mhm.
to the question. So, yay for them for stepping up and actually asking a question, because we say there are no dumb questions, but your question can always be more specific. It's like, I support, published authors and I help them with their book launches. Who are my VAs who are in that, who do you support? Who else supports the same people? And where do you find your clients? That's the better question than where does everybody find their clients? It's
Mhm.
so it's really important to be able to understand that your business is completely different from everybody else's because you're the one who's building it. So I
Yep.
love that.
Yep. Good.
That's
That's
good.
an amazing point. And it's ever changing too.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I think that's the cool part of it.
yeah.
I started off not serving business coaches. That's who my niche was as a VA. And I started in hospitality because I loved it. And because I had a very good client who was in hospitality, but then recognized that it was not a viable market. There's very slim profit margin in hospitality. So
Mhm.
they didn't have the money to pay me. So I'm like, okay, what several years later, after struggling, trying to find clients, what do I do? I know how to do all this stuff. Who needs this? Like, who needs this stuff? And so I came upon the VA industry and realized that there's so many people, but you still have to get specific about who you can
Mhm.
help and what they do and what that, how that reflects the services that you can provide for them. So that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for making the time to hang out. We didn't even get to the Hallmark stuff. Like, I'm totally the Hallmark person too. I think that you're right. We all want that. We all want that. Sort of here's the thing, what's up at the storytelling too, but here's the situation, here's the problem I'm having. Oh, look, there's the solution for it, happily ever after. And that's exactly what we're trying to describe here, is that you can have that.
Mhm.
And yes, sometimes you have to find the person to help you, and that can be kind of difficult sometimes, which is why I definitely wanted to interview you for the podcast. I think that you're bringing a lot of really, really smart information to my community and my audience, and I'm super happy to share you with them. So there you go.
Thank you. But it's been such a joy to be on and such a good opportunity to talk to you. And I'm so glad that Threads brought us together
Yeah,
as
me
well.
too. I don't know
And
how it did, but I think you said something like you were looking to guest on a certain number of podcasts. And I'm like,
mhm.
I mean, then, you check everybody out first before you're like, should I say yes or should I? So of
Yeah.
course I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, you would be great to have on. So it's
Well, thank
awesome. So
you.
there you go. So this is us, and I will leave it off here, and I'll share your Not Your Average Guide to Embodiment workshop again, the details for that. And thank you so much for being here, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you so much to Alicia Croci for joining us today on the Ridiculously Good VA show. Her business is Wildly Creative Studio. You can check her out. All her links and connections to her are going to be in the show notes. Thanks so much. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Ridiculously Good VA show. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. For more great resources for your VA business, visit my website at yourvamentor.com. I'll see you back here next time.